Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's out there. Hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's doing what they're supposed to do and taking care of one another, man. Just call your friend and check up on them if you haven't. Let's talk some hockey because that's how we're going to get through all this. I don't want to sit around whining and complaining that there's no hockey and I miss hockey. There's a ton of ways to celebrate hockey, and that's what we're doing right here. So, with that being said, there are two types of people in this world, or two types of people in the hockey world. There's goalies, and there's people who aren't goalies. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. So if you're not a goalie person, just go to the next video. I've always thought goalies were the coolest player on the ice sheet because through a goalie's equipment, they can really express themselves. We know that they paint the masks, and that kind of reflects their personality. I always thought of the goalie pads and just your whole goalie setup was really important to expressing your personality and adding some color and some flair to the game. So I have two sets of pads that I want to show you that I still have. One is a custom that I custom ordered. I picked out every little detail on them. They're cool. They're antiques at this point, but they're cool. So let's take a look at them. But first, so the question of, Zach, how old school are you? I can show you how old school I am. Back in 1988, wearing the leather pads. These things were heavy. These were the house pads. I believe I was the last goalie to wear them. Like when I volunteered for goalie, they threw me these bad boys, and I had them basically till they started falling apart. Sometimes I even needed a little repair on the ice. And look, real quick, if you see the kid on the right, number 19, the back of his jersey says Unitas. That's Chad Unitas. Johnny Unitas, quarterback for the Baltimore Colts. That's his son. He was on my team. He was good. Once you graduated from the leather pads, a lot of goalies went to these guys. This is the Cooper Durasoft. These things were like wearing two big pillows on your legs. Anybody remembers wearing these? Remembers if you had to go down into a butterfly to make a save, early in the game, your pads would stick to the ice. And that's what it looks like when you skate past the other goalie, when you guys are changing mid-game and you forget to shake his hand. So first up, we have these Brian's pads. These were like the first set. These are the custom ones that I ordered. I got to pick out every detail of these. The red leather right there. I kind of modeled them after Eddie Belfour's pads with my own little touch on them. Eddie Belfour didn't have the red in his, but I added it on mine. I played for the Chesapeake Chiefs, and we wore Chicago Blackhawks jerseys. My favorite feature on these pads, you can see right there, made in Canada. This was my nameplate. It said custom made for me on there. I was the only person I knew that had custom pads. They took probably like 12 weeks to get. But these were the awesomest. They still kind of are. They're so short. This part right here, it's, I started when you go down in the butterfly, boom, it left my knees exposed. And I started getting banged up on my knees or right above my knees. So I needed to switch these out. These were even before, they have these strings now, like the big skate laces, you tie your skates down. These had the old school buckle on them. And there's the buckle. You just like buckle that under your skate and it would stay in place. These things are beauties. They stopped a lot of pucks for me. Like I said, modeled after Eddie Belfour. They're like a synthetic leather, I believe. And I think they're even filled with foam, and they're filled with deer hair. That's the way they made them back in the day. I grew out of the Brian's pads. I got these bad boys, the Cooper Reactor 4s. I did not custom order these. We went on the way back from hockey camp. We stopped in London, Ontario. I can't remember the name of the store, but these were on the shelf. This is the Cooper Reactor 4. I had just skated with Eddie Belfour in Toronto, and he had Coopers. I needed new pads. I saw the Coopers. My dad was happy because these were cheaper than a lot and we didn't have to custom order. These were the first pads that I had with the tie-down strings that if these came loose during a game, talk about a pain in the ass. But again, that's the only color on these pads. They were all white. Stopped a lot of pucks with these. I kind of liked the idea of all white pads and seeing all the pucks he stopped. This is kind of a throwback look for me. It reminded me of one of my favorite goalies growing up, Pete Peters. And these were the pads that I wore probably up until the time I stopped playing. But I wore these all through high school. I wore these in college, everything. The Cooper, the Reactor 4, the salesman told us they were designed for a butterfly goalie. I played kind of like that unorthodox style that Eddie Belfour did. So these were great pads. Very heavy compared to today's pads. I mean, these look light, but these things are beasts. They had a lot of protection. You kind of just put your leg down in there. But these definitely seen better days. All right, guys, that about wraps us up for today. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and be cool to one another. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.